At this point, I've done quite a bunch of videos, and I feel this one, as it pertains to understanding what's going on in America and the rampant judicial corruption, is one of the most important videos I have done to date, if not the most important when it comes to exposing what's going on that anyone can prove for themselves very, very easily. There's people out there who think that the, quote, freedom fighters and, quote, patriots are radicals or are anti-America, which is about the worst possible accusation you can make towards most of them. Yes, there are some lunatics. There are always lunatics in any group. However, the vast majority of them are really good, well-balanced people who just want to see a lawful government judges to adhere to their laws more than they do, and I'm going to prove to you that they are not. It's very easy to prove for absolutely anyone. Take traffic court. This is, again, something we're all exposed to. You may think traffic court is a good thing. The problem is, and I have no problem with traffic laws. I have no problem with driving safely. What I do have a problem with is using traffic laws to solely as a profit-generating mechanism, which is what it is used for well over 90% of the time. And that, too, is easy to prove. It is revenue generation, and that is, in fact, a part of the public record. Of course it's revenue generation. When the judge renders a guilty verdict, he benefits, as does the town, as does possibly the county, as definitely does the state per the state surcharge, which his pension and or other forms of income are tied into. I want you to re-listen to that, because that alone should shock you into waking up. That means there is a complete bias and conflict of interest if he benefits in any way, directly or indirectly, through his wages alone, through adjudicating, whereby he should not be even adjudicating such a thing, since he can benefit indirectly or directly from the action, and he benefits in both ways. Here's the proof of corruption. I use traffic because we're all exposed to it. Traffic laws can be a good thing, but 90% of traffic laws need to be eliminated. There are countries that don't even have traffic laws. Everyone gets along just fine because everyone works together. And remember, courts are only for post-injury, post-damage. They cannot predict the future. Traffic laws cannot prevent accidents. There's no such thing. There's no way to predict what's going to happen in the future. Now, when it comes to proving the corruption, it's very simple. If you assert yourself in a traffic matter and question things like where is the summons, when you prove to the judge that there is no lawful summons in place, keep in mind, as far as New York state law goes, we have to abide by VTL 155, and I have upper court case law in the appeals proving that 155, the big run-on sentence that it is, absolutely applies to traffic court, whereby the judges and the prosecutor in the court process must adhere to criminal procedure law, even though it's a civil matter. That's another part of the trickery and the fraud. I know I'm all over the place with this, but there's so much to cover, and it's so easy to prove that these judges are corrupt and that it's a fraudulent scam that I could go off in tons of directions to prove it. It's simple. It's simple. And anyone can understand this stuff. When they do not adhere to this criminal procedure in the court, and you try to assert yourself by asking where is that lawful summons that is subscribed/signed by a judge, and it does not exist, or any of the other multiple ways of proving, such as where's the warrant when they actually issue a warrant because you didn't pay fines on time or do your paperwork on time and need to go to jail because you didn't do your paperwork. Isn't that Nazi Germany? Where's the papers? When you challenge these things and submit affidavits into the court to have your defense on the record, any kind of affidavits and testimony you submit to support your own defense, the judge can simply remove, and they do. They will either trash these records or make sure you cannot get certified copies of the records out of their courtroom so that you can use them in an appeal. Why on earth would they do that if they weren't committing crimes? What do they have to hide? Why would they hinder your ability to protect yourself, to have your own defense against them? Remember, they're all somehow or other involved with the state, the prosecutor, the judge, and the cop. Does that sound like a little bit of a bias and a conflict of interest? Again, yet another tangent I can go off into. They're endless. They're endless. On top of this, judges render these decisions and people think they are superior in their knowledge of law to us and that the decisions they make are always correct. What if judges have absolute immunity and zero liability? Wouldn't then any decision they make whatsoever appear to be correct, since they have no liability for whatever decision they make? Do you follow what I'm saying? How can they possibly ever render a wrong decision if not only are they immune from any decision they make in their own discretion, but they have no liability, they have nothing to worry about. They will never be sued. If they are sued, the person will lose because they have their official immunity, and they're immune from any kind of prosecution so they can never be held criminally liable. Don't you see how then they can make any decision they want, regardless of whether it's lawful, legal, or not, and have nothing to worry about? Next time you want to pose a defense and ask any questions about the multiple frauds in their process, and you file a record into their court to preserve your record and build your record for your own defense, to have it dismissed based on the many countless defects, ask yourself, why then can't I get certified records out so that I can appeal his immune and free from liability decision to find me guilty? Why? If you can't figure it out, it's because they're committing a massive fraud against you. It's so easy. Ask the judge about it. Ask the court clerk about it. Watch their responses. They will tell you they can't talk about it. They will claim they can do what they want to do. And guess what, folks? They can't. There is a way to force them to produce the records that they refuse to. The only reason why they get away with it is because you don't know how to force them. Now, if there is a way to force them to, through lawful means, why are they hiding the record to begin with? Come on, wake up. There's nothing wrong with the law. What's wrong is corruption in government. Government's a great thing. Government is way too large and way too corrupt. Small, honest, responsible government is a wonderful thing. And I think that's what 90% of us want when we understand what's really going on. Unfortunately, there is a larger and larger percentage of Americans who don't want that. They want things to be going in the direction we are going, whereby government is our king, is our God, and knows all. And perhaps that's not what America was intended to be.